News hot off the press. It looked like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
Chennedy Carter's push on Caitlin Clark wasn't just a foul. It might have just cost her everything. Now she's paying the price: her job, her reputation, and possibly her future in the WNBA. You might think it was just a small shove, but here's where it gets interesting. The Chicago Sky aren't even offering her a core designation. Can you believe it? Carter went from rising star to unemployed faster than a fast break.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese, he talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
We all know Chennedy Carter has a history of stirring up trouble. In fact, this is already her third team. But this time, she crossed a line that no one saw coming.
Inspired between Carter and Clark.
That's right. This incident sent shockwaves through the WNBA. Imagine pushing the league's golden goose. You know you're in serious trouble. We're diving into what really went down when Chennedy Carter laid hands on Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just any game. It was the moment that changed everything.
That push right there was that right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Chennedy Carter.
Did you see that? The tension on the court was already through the roof. The Chicago Sky and the Iowa Hawkeyes were in a heated battle, and everyone was on edge. Then, out of nowhere, Chennedy Carter dropped the B word and shoved Caitlin Clark, taking things to a whole new level. You could see the intensity in her eyes, the split-second decision that would come back to haunt her. We've got exclusive footage that's going to blow your mind. New angles, never before seen, showing exactly how it all went down.
But calling someone the B word while literally freaking winding up for a cheap shot. Yeah, that has to be taken into account. And then after the cheap shot, staring over and saying something before walking away. Like, you can't give, like, that is 3 separate technical foul occasions.
You can hear the gasp from the crowd and see the shock on the players' faces. One player who was right there said, "I've never seen anything like it." The look on Caitlin's face was pure disbelief, like she couldn't process what had just happened. Caitlin herself shared that in that moment she was stunned. "I felt the push, and it was like time stood still. I couldn't process what had just happened." But here's where it gets really interesting. It's what happened right after that that sealed Chennedy Carter's fate. The crowd erupted in boos.
Her future was not going to be very bright, bruh. Now, a lot of people was kind of surprised by this. I'm not, because I know, you know what I'm saying, what she did to Caitlin Clark was completely unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you guys, she's living with that decision today because she is without a job.
Now, everyone's asking if Carter just derailed her entire career. In the WNBA, it's not just about what happens on the court. It's also about how you carry yourself off it. And right now, Carter's definitely not scoring points in the popularity department.
Right.
You're jealous. That was a Bush League play, and it needs to be addressed. That was a flagrant foul. That was unnecessary. Flagrant, anything deemed to be unnecessary. I need somebody to explain to me, why was that necessary?
That day, there were some major scouts in the stands, people who have the power to make or break a career. One scout shared that it's not just about the push, but the attitude that followed. In this league, they're looking for players who can handle pressure and serve as role models. What they saw that day, it's not the kind of behavior they want in a franchise player.
She turned to you a little bit after the fever
I
score.
answered no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin.
As y'all heard there, man, Chennedy Carter let it be known she was not answering any Caitlin Clark questions. And I'm telling you right now, she probably wished she should have, because she's without a job.
After that shocking push, Carter had the chance to make things right. So what did she do? Instead of owning up to it, She looked at the reporters and said, "I didn't say anything on the play before bumping into Caitlyn." Can you believe it? No apology, no explanation, just total silence. It was like she thought if she ignored the issue, it would disappear. But here's the twist. It didn't disappear. It only got worse.
Chennedy Carter had an incredible season for us last year, but in a statement provided by the Chicago Times, she's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level. In our league, we absolutely appreciate what she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and will make changes to our rosters. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
You might be thinking, okay, but she's a star player, right? That has to count for something. Well, apparently not. The Chicago Sky's general manager dropped a bombshell that shocked everyone.
I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem. But that's very interesting. You know, I assumed, I'm not going to lie to you, I assumed the Chicago Sky was going to bring her back.
Whoa, did you catch that? They're not just talking about her performance on the court. They're questioning how she fits with the team. But hold up, there's more. Remember Carter's teammate, Angel Reese? Well, word is they're not exactly close anymore. In fact, Reese even unfollowed Carter on social media. Now you might be thinking, so what? It's just social media. But in today's world, that's a pretty big deal. It's like a neon sign flashing locker room drama for everyone to see.
They said Chennedy Carter not getting an offer from the Sky means one thing. Someone influential in the locker room did not want her on the team. You never let your best offensive player and arguably your best player walk away from nothing unless there are locker room issues.
And it's not just Reese. Sources inside the team are spilling the tea, and it's piping hot. Apparently, some of Carter's own teammates don't even want her on the roster anymore. Can you imagine going from star player to persona non grata? That's a major fall from grace.
I mean, she can score with the lights out. I mean, she's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard. An instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
See, now, let's talk about the decision not to offer Carter a qualifying offer in the WNBA. Something that's practically unheard of for a leading scorer. It's like the Sky are saying, we'd rather have no one than have you. Ouch, that's got to sting.
Whereas no team wants the cancer in the locker room. Okay, so that raises a great question. Is anybody going to want her? Maybe that's the best question. I mean, certainly there's real attitude issues.
But here's where things get really wild. Some people are saying this isn't just about the locker room drama or that push. They're saying it's about the future of the WNBA itself. Think about it. Caitlin Clark is the golden goose right now. She's drawing in fans, attention, and potentially even better deals for all the players. By pushing Clark, did Carter accidentally push herself right out of the league? So here's the deal. Carter's now an unrestricted free agent. But guess what? No one's rushing to sign her. You'd think a player of her caliber would have teams lining up to snatch her up, right? Wrong. We spoke to insiders from every WNBA team, and what they told us is nothing short of shocking.
Is what Annie Cristobal stated as well. No qualifying offer sent out to Chennedy Carter means she will be a free agent to test the market as an unrestricted free agent beginning tomorrow.
One team executive didn't mince words. They straight up said, and I kid you not, we wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Can you believe that? This is a pro athlete we're talking about, not some kind of toxic waste. But it gets even wilder. We dug deep and uncovered a hidden clause in Carter's contract with the Chicago Sky. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal about a contract clause? Well, let me tell you, this is no ordinary fine print. This clause made it incredibly easy for the Sky to cut ties with her. It's almost like they had an escape hatch built right into her deal. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Why was that clause there in the first place? It's almost as if they were bracing for trouble from the very start.
Someone said, whoa, she must really had a bad attitude.
Now, Carter's agent is in full scramble mode, trying to save her career. Picture this: phone calls flying, desperate pitches being made to every team. In the league, she's changed, she's learned her lesson, but it seems like no one's buying it. It's like a high-stakes game of hot potato, and Carter's the potato that everyone's afraid to catch.
Caitlin Clark is the reason these ladies is potentially, allegedly, possibly about to get the biggest payday of their lifetime, with the NBA stepping in to help them get this new collective bargaining agreement potentially done. Then we got the media rights agreement done, which is like $3 or $2 billion. That money could possibly help them get larger contracts. And what Chennedy Carter put her filthy palms on Caitlin Clark did not help her case.
But hold on to your hats, because here's the real shocker. Some teams are calling Carter a locker room cancer. Ouch. That's not just a red flag. That's a massive red banner with flashing lights. In the world of pro sports, being labeled a locker room cancer is like getting a huge "do not sign" stamp across your forehead.
The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their games than any other team.
So now, we have to ask the million-dollar question. Is this really the end of Chennedy Carter's WNBA career? I mean, there's no doubt she's talented, but talent only takes you so far when you've got a reputation like hers. It's like she's standing on the edge of a cliff, and every team in the league is taking a giant step back.
Regular season, sales of WNBA merchandise are up over 500% versus the same period last year, with fan gear sales over the first half of the season at the highest in league history. Player-specific merchandise, including jerseys and t-shirts, have seen a staggering 1,000% increase in sales. Additionally, sales of league-specific merchandise like the popular orange WNBA hoodie are also up 200%. The top-selling WNBA player merch: Caitlin Clark, #1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3.
That's right. The reason everyone's buzzing about Caitlin Clark is because she's not just changing the game, she's changing the entire league. And we've got the inside scoop on why this is such a big deal. Here's the lowdown. Clark's popularity is through the roof, and it's not just the fans who are noticing. The big wigs at the WNBA are paying attention too. Why? Because Clark is drawing in viewers like nobody's business. And you know what that means: more eyes, more money, and more opportunities for the entire league.
Very rough. She's on, I believe, her third team, maybe fourth team. I think her third team. And if it's not her fourth team, she's already planning on her fourth team.
You might be thinking, okay, she's popular, but can one player really change everything? Well, let me tell you, it's not just about her skills on the court. It's about what she represents. Clark is quickly becoming the face of women's basketball, and that's translating into some serious bargaining power.
Right now, it is not going to be an old happy day for Chennedy Carter tomorrow, because she thinks that somebody's going to suck at her. And I'm here to tell you, dog, I don't believe no team is going to touch her with a 12-foot pole. She is a diabolical locker room.
We've uncovered some juicy details about the ongoing negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, and guess what? Caitlin Clark's name keeps coming up. Why? Because her success and visibility are key factors in pushing for better pay and conditions for all WNBA players. But here's where it gets really interesting. The league isn't just focused on money. They're also considering some major changes to how they handle player conduct. And let me tell you, it's directly tied to that push incident we've been talking about. Our sources say there are discussions about implementing stricter rules and disciplinary procedures. It's all about maintaining a positive image, especially around star players like Clark.